Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Dwellings of Eldervale by Luke Laurie and published by Breaking Games. Now this is going to be the collector's edition that comes with the 3D bases. So without further ado, let's take a look inside. So first off, we open up the box here, and inside you'll see that we have some game trays right off the bat. Now, when you get this game for the first time, you will need to assemble these game trays, specifically the stickers on the top here. They're separated by their lids, like so, but they fit really nicely. You're going to put the different dungeon cards for each of the factions inside of these trays. So you have all of these doors on the top, as well as the cards for the different colors on the bottom. In addition, you'll have the treasure tokens for each color, and they have the different symbols here. They fit the cardboard, but if you have the wooden, you can also replace them and get rid of the cardboard. You do not need two sets. So once you have that, you'll seal those up, and those fit nicely draped on the top here. So you'll take those and put them to the side. They have for all 8 of the different elements. On the left side here, we'll have all of the rule books. So you have the Ghosts of Eldervale, the solo mode board, solo mode rule book. You have the Eldervale in a box. So this is kind of an organization guide if you need it, if you don't want to use this video. But you also have the rules of play here. You have the appendix. And then you have all the player references. After that, you're going to have the board for all of the elements, as well as the war track and the underworld, the glory track. Underneath, you see, we'll go with the left side first, we have all of the miniatures for the monsters. So these are all of the monster miniatures, and inside you'll notice that these trays will fit each monster. So you can mix and match them. They don't have a specific spot they need to be in. It doesn't matter. They're shaped so that they fit all of the different monsters. So we have an entire set of the different elements in here, and then the second set in the second box. And then on this right side here, you'll see that we have 2 identical resource containers. And these resource containers are going to hold all of your resources, go figure. And these resources are the magic cards here. You've got the coins, the swords, the tools, the potions, the scrolls, and the gems. So those fit very nicely inside. And once again, you are not going to need any of the components that are cardboard if you have the wooden to replace. So you have 2 trays that stack on top of each other really nicely on the side there. Up next, you have the different player trays. So these are based on the color that you choose. So like this is the water attribute, the blue. And inside, you actually have the player dashboard is going to be put on top as a lid. And underneath, you're going to have the tableau card, your starting tableau card with your initial actions, as well as 6 dice per player, your 6 influence markers for the elements. You'll get 1 of each resource to begin the game, except for coins, and that's why the influence markers are in that spot. You'll have all of your meeples in their dedicated spots, all your workers, and then your dragon and your warrior and your sorcerer as well. And then you have the dwellings that fit really nicely into these area on here. And then you have some empty spots here for your different treasure tiles you'll be getting. So each faction is very similar. You're going to have all those resources in there ready to go, and your tableau card just fits nicely on top, and then you'll seal the top there with a lid. So you'll do that for each color of player color. Inside here, you have the rest of them. So you have a stack of 4, and then another stack of 4. And there are grooves in here, so they fit really nicely. Underneath, you'll see that we have some stuff that's going to just stay in the box usually. You have spots for the miniatures. So you have the dragon and the ice giant, as well as if you are not wanting to use the miniatures, you have the standees. There are room for them in here. So you've got spots in this section here for the 2 different groups of standees. And they just kind of slot in. Nice, just in case you do want to use them. And then you have, in this bottom slot, you have the bases for those standees if you want to use them. On the right side here, you have the 2 different mercenaries. So you have the, I think this is the shapeshifter or the Medusa. And then you have the Minotaur. And they fit really nicely onto this small area for them on the side. Speaking of fitting really nicely, we have our dungeon tray that's going to be in here. This is going to have all your tiles as well as your starting dungeon markers, as well as room for a discard pile. Super nice. And that's going to cover the room for all your additional tokens. So you have the I forget what he's called, the Ghost of Eldervale. He's kind of chills in there. You use him for the solo game. You've got all of the gray dice for the neutral dice for the monsters. You've got all of these orbs for getting that magic additional magic and additional points and resources. And then you have your tactics tokens in case you want to play with that variant. And then the Mother of Dragons tokens in here in case you're playing with her. So you have lots of different options for this game, lots of little modules. And then on the upper side here, we have all of the different elemental tiles. So you've got them separated by element here. You're going to play with all of a specific element. And then you have your additional tiles here if you want to play with them. So this is needed in a 4 and 5 player game. You have the Frost Bridge if you're playing with Ymir. And then you have the Dragon's Den if you're playing with the Mother of Dragons. And then the Oracle if you want to add a bit of a longer game. So that's all here underneath the element tiles. And then on this left side, you just have more element tiles, so I won't get those out. On the left side here, we have all of the VFX bases. These are super cool. You hit the side here like this, and when you press it, you hear the sound of the creature. So that's really fascinating. You'll put the beast itself onto here, and when you move it, you can hear it move. So for the Reaper in particular, oh, that must be the Wailing Ghost. So it's really cool. So the Reaper here, he's got this creepy little sound. So make sure when you do store them, you put them in the middle, which is the off position. That way you're not losing that extra battery life. And then you just pull off the characters and put them back. So all the different colors are nice and nestled here. You do not need to mess with those at all. Up next, we have the cards. And these cards are for the monsters on the right side. So these are all the different creatures. So when you're playing, if a creature comes out, you can just shuffle these and then put out the appropriate monster based on the color that gets summoned. And then you also have the different mercenaries, the Minotaur and the Shapeshifter. Very cool. And then on the left side here, we just have the Automa cards for the solo mode. So for the Ghost of Eldervale, which is a really nice solo mode, by the way. And that's that. So let's go ahead and put it back. So first off, we just leave all that stuff that's in the base game. We put the cards on these two sides. Get that silica gel packet in there for freshness. Same thing with this one up here. And then we've got our dungeon tray, and we're gonna put that up here. Sorry, our tile tray. We're gonna take all of the player color pieces. Remember, stacks of 4. That way they fit really nicely in there, stacks of 4. And then we'll take all the resource tokens and place them on this side. The monsters. More monsters. Sometimes you will kind of catch the lip on these game trays, so just be aware of that. Then you'll take the dungeon trays. So these have all the dungeon cards and the door cards, as well as the treasure tokens. And that should leave you with a little room on the left side here. You're going to put the element board, and then all of your paper components, and the solo board. That'll all rest nicely on the left side there. And that is organizing the Dwellings of Eldervale. If you have any questions about what you saw in this video, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have a game that you'd love to see organized in this channel, please let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love if you left this video a subscription or a like. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching. Side Game Strong.